The dawn of a new day. In the heart of Montana's rolling hills, where golden grasses swayed gently in the morning breeze, stood a modest horse sanctuary called Horizon Hills. The sanctuary, nestled between rugged mountains and endless skies, had become a place of healing for broken spirits, both human and equine. It was here that an extraordinary journey began, one that would challenge perceptions and redefine what was possible when patience met fear. As the first light of dawn painted the sky in streaks of gold and pink, Jack Thompson rose from his bed, his old bones protesting against morning chill. Through the kitchen window, he spotted his granddaughter, Emily, already outside, sitting quietly near Spirit's paddock. Spirit, a magnificent Mustang with a dark coat that shimmered like polished ebony, had arrived at the sanctuary 6 months ago, a frightened creature who had known only pain and mistrust at human hands. "Morning, sweetheart," Jack said softly, carrying a tray with breakfast to where Emily sat. Her sketchbook lay open on her lap, filled with detailed drawings of Spirit. She didn't respond immediately, but offered a small smile, the first genuine one since her arrival. "Thought you might be hungry." Emily's journey had been as challenging as Spirit's. The accident that took her parents had stolen her voice too. Not physically, but emotionally. She had retreated into silence, finding solace only in drawing and observing the world from a safe distance. Jack watched her now, noting how her fingers traced the lines of Spirit's portrait with careful precision. "You know," Jack began, choosing his words carefully, "Spirit and you have more in common than you think." He paused, giving her time to process. "Both of you came here broken, scared." Another pause. "But look at him now. He's learning to trust again." Emily's pencil hovered over the paper, then slowly continued its movement through the window of the nearby barn. Spirit watched them, his ears flicking forward with interest. The transformation in the Mustang had been remarkable. Though still cautious, there was a new light in his eyes, a spark of curiosity replacing the constant fear. Later that morning, as sunlight warmed the earth, Emily found herself standing closer to Spirit's paddock than ever before. The Mustang approached cautiously, stopping just out of reach. Jack held his breath, watching from a distance as Emily extended her hand, palm up, offering a piece of apple. Spirit hesitated, his nostrils flaring as he processed this new development. "That's it," Jack whispered, though he knew better than to interrupt the moment. After what felt like an eternity, Spirit lowered his head, touching his velvet-soft muzzle to Emily's palm. A single tear escaped Jack's eye as he witnessed this breakthrough, the beginning of a connection that would change both their lives forever. Through the following weeks, a routine developed between Emily and Spirit. Each morning, she would sit by his paddock, sketching his form while offering small treats. Slowly, Spirit began to associate her presence with comfort rather than fear. Their bond deepened through shared silences and mutual understanding, a language beyond words that spoke directly to their wounded souls. One afternoon, as storm clouds gathered on the horizon, Emily faced her greatest challenge yet. Spirit had grown restless, his old fears resurfacing with the approaching thunder. Rather than retreat, Emily moved closer, her small frame dwarfed by the powerful animal. Jack watched anxiously from the barn doorway, ready to intervene if needed. The moment stretched taut like a bowstring. Spirit's muscles bunched, preparing to bolt, but Emily remained steady, her hand extended in silent reassurance. Lightning flashed in the distance, followed by a low rumble of thunder. Spirit's ears flattened, but instead of fleeing, he pressed closer to Emily, seeking comfort rather than escape. Jack exhaled shakily, realizing he'd been holding his breath. Through the rain that began to fall, he watched as Emily wrapped her arms around Spirit's neck, whispering soft assurances. The Mustang responded by resting his head on her shoulder, his body trembling slightly, but remaining grounded through the storm. This pivotal moment marked a turning point in their relationship, where once there had been fear and mistrust, now grew understanding and partnership. As days turned into weeks, Emily began taking measured steps toward riding Spirit, each success building upon the last. Their progress wasn't linear. There were setbacks and moments of doubt, but through it all, their connection remained steadfast. Word of their remarkable journey spread throughout the community. Local newspapers ran features about the silent girl and the once dangerous Mustang, who had found healing together. Visitors began arriving at Horizon Hills, hoping to catch a glimpse of this extraordinary pair. Among them came Dr. Sarah Miller from the State University, specializing in equine behavior. "I've reviewed your documentation," Dr. Miller said during her initial visit, watching as Emily worked with Spirit in the round pen. "What you're accomplishing here could revolutionize our approach to rehabilitating traumatized Mustangs." She made careful notes as Emily demonstrated their communication methods, subtle hand signals and body language that Spirit responded to with growing confidence. Their work caught the attention of influential figures beyond the local community. Pamela White, a wealthy philanthropist, visited the sanctuary after reading about their success. Moved by what she witnessed, she offered substantial funding to expand the sanctuary's mission. Her support enabled them to rescue more Mustangs and develop programs for children facing similar traumas as Emily. As winter gave way to spring, preparations began for a significant demonstration at the Montana State Fair. This event would showcase not just Emily and Spirit's achievements, but also highlight the sanctuary's groundbreaking rehabilitation methods. Nervous excitement buzzed through Horizon Hills as they prepared to share their story with a wider audience. The day of the demonstration arrived, crisp and clear, perfect September, weather drawing large crowds to the Helena Fairgrounds. Jack drove the sanctuary's truck with Spirit's trailer attached, while Emily sat beside him, reviewing her notes. Her usual quiet demeanor masked the butterflies fluttering in her stomach. "It's okay to be a little scared," Jack assured her, glancing at her rapid page-turning. "Spirit probably feels the same way." Emily nodded slightly, though her grip on the notebook tightened. They both knew this public appearance represented more than just a performance. It was validation of their hard work and proof that patients could overcome even the deepest wounds. At the fairgrounds, anticipation crackled in the air. Spectators filled the stands surrounding the small arena, many drawn by the compelling story of the girl and the Mustang. Among them sat Thomas Wilson, a former critic of the sanctuary's methods, now watching with keen interest. The atmosphere buzzed with whispered conversations and camera clicks. As Emily led Spirit into the arena, a hush fell over the crowd. The Mustang, sensing the unusual environment, tensed momentarily but relaxed under Emily's calming touch. She began their demonstration with simple exercises, gradually building to more complex maneuvers. With each successful task, Spirit's confidence grew, responding to Emily's subtle cues with increasing enthusiasm. When Emily finally mounted Spirit, guiding him through a pattern around the arena, the audience erupted in spontaneous applause. Spirit, startled briefly, quickly settled under Emily's reassuring hand. She dismounted smoothly, stroking his neck with affection before turning to face the crowd. For the first time since arriving at the sanctuary, she spoke directly to an audience. "He wasn't scared at all," she said, her voice soft but clear, addressing her grandfather's earlier concerns. The words, though simple, carried profound meaning. Jack crossed the distance between them in 3 strides, enveloping his granddaughter in a fierce hug. Tears flowed freely down his weathered cheeks as he realized the full extent of their achievement. "You both did it," Jack whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved each other." The magnitude of this truth resonated through the sanctuary community. What had begun as an attempt to rehabilitate a dangerous horse had evolved into something far greater, a testament to the power of patience, trust, and unconditional support. In the aftermath of their success, opportunities began flowing into Horizon Hills. Universities expressed interest in formal research partnerships, recognizing the potential of their methods to transform equine rehabilitation practices nationwide. The sanctuary expanded its mission, developing programs specifically designed to help traumatized children through interaction with rescued Mustangs. Emily's journey from silence to speaking became a cornerstone of these new initiatives. Her insights, communicated through both words and actions, guided the development of therapeutic approaches that emphasize understanding over judgment, patience over force. The Spirit Scholarship, funded by Pamela White, allowed other children facing similar challenges to benefit from the sanctuary's unique environment. As seasons changed and the sanctuary flourished, Emily and Spirit continued their work, becoming ambassadors for their respective communities. Their stories served as living proof that no soul is beyond reach when approached with kindness, that no spirit is too broken to mend when given time and space to heal in its own way, at its own pace. The expanded sanctuary welcomed more traumatized horses and wounded children, each bringing their own unique needs and challenges. Yet, thanks to Emily and Spirit's pioneering journey, they now had a proven framework for healing. One built on the simple truth that sometimes the most powerful connections form when we meet each other not in strength, but in vulnerability, not in certainty, but in trust. On a quiet evening, as stars emerged in the Montana sky, Jack reflected on their journey, the storm that brought them together, a desperate gamble on a dangerous horse and a silent child finding her voice, had transformed into something beautiful. The sanctuary lights glowed warmly against the night, illuminating a path forward for horses and humans alike. Their story offered a precious reminder in a world that often valued speed over depth, compliance over connection, that with enough patience and understanding, even the most frightened hearts could learn to trust again. And in this truth lay their greatest success, not just in healing individual wounds, but in creating a model of hope and possibility that could ripple outward, touching countless lives yet unknown. The moral of their journey was simple yet profound. True healing requires more than just treating surface wounds. It demands creating conditions where trust can grow naturally, where fear can transform into courage through patient understanding. Like Spirit and Emily had shown, sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't force or intervention, but simply being present and allowing time for healing to unfold in its own rhythm.